The day I opened my mailbox and found a government refund check made out to someone I didn't know at my own address, I figured it had to be a mistake. Or maybe one of those random IRS mail misfires we joke about in the office. But then a second envelope came, and a third, and one of them had a check for over $18. 000 made out to a business I'd never heard of. That's when it hit me. It wasn't a mistake. Someone had registered a business using my home address. Someone was running a full-blown tax scam from my front porch. What that someone didn't realize, though, is they picked the wrong house. I'm not just your average homeowner. I work for the IRS Investigations Division. That's right, Karen set up her scam at the home of a federal agent, and she had no idea the whole time. Until it was too late. It started slow, as most messes do. A couple weird flyers. An envelope labeled KNH Wellness Consulting with my address, but not my name. I figured it was junk. But the real red flag came with the padded envelope. Heavy. Government seal. And inside, financial documents that no random business should be receiving at my residence. I looked at the name, Karen Hensley. Didn't ring a bell, but something about it annoyed me instantly. I logged into our HOA portal and found her Karen. Lived 2 streets over. Mid-50s, always in overpriced yoga wear, the type who reports kids for drawing chalk hearts on the sidewalk. Yeah, that Karen. I'd seen her in passing, never paid her any mind. But now she had all of mine. At first, I thought maybe this was a simple clerical error. But then I saw the paperwork. She didn't just send mail here. She registered a business at my address, filed taxes using my home as the operating base, forged documents claiming I was her leasing agent, and even listed my property on Google Business as the headquarters for KNH Wellness. The nerve of this woman. Now, you gotta understand, I've seen tax fraud in all flavors. I've audited fake charities, unraveled shell corporations built out of P.O. boxes and lies, and once caught a guy trying to write off his dog as a dependent. But this was personal. She'd used my house, my name, and she was flaunting it like some kind of tax-dodging suburban guru. I didn't go official right away. That's not how this works. You want to catch someone like Karen? You wait. You watch. You let them hang themselves with their own rope. So I set up cameras, 1 on the porch, 2 on the mailbox, and 1 inside a birdhouse just for fun. I flagged my mail for review and told my old surveillance buddy Ray to keep an eye out from his truck down the block. Didn't take long. First night, 2:13 a.m., there she was. Hoodie up. Knockoff UGGs, sneaking onto my porch like she was auditioning for Ocean's 14. She grabbed a package addressed to her fake company and strutted off like she just saved the world. Caught it all on camera. Game on, Karen. From that point on, I started building the file. I wasn't just watching mail anymore. I was tracing every digital breadcrumb. Her website? Hosted under my address. Her business registration? Used a forged lease with my signature photocopied from a neighborhood form I'd submitted a year ago. The pandemic relief fund she applied for? Claimed I was her landlord and she paid me rent monthly. She had receipts. Fake ones. And get this, she had the audacity to claim KNH Wellness was IRS verified on her website. I almost choked on my coffee. So I baited her. First, I sent a fake letter, looked like a real IRS doc, complete with embossed seal, addressed to KNH Wellness at my address. She showed up 2 nights later and grabbed it like a kid snatching candy. What she didn't know? That letter had a GPS tracker embedded in the barcode, one we use for sting ops. That little tag told me exactly where she took it, her actual home, and later, to the local business license office where she used it as proof of address to renew her scam. Now I had everything I needed. Footage of her collecting mail, the tracker logs, forged paperwork, digital records of her uploads to our IRS portals. She even hosted a wellness pop-up on her lawn with folding chairs and a bubble machine. Claimed it was part of her healing practice. One kid showed up for the free juice boxes. Another thought it was an AA meeting. It was the saddest cult I'd ever seen. And then she made her boldest move yet. She knocked on my door. Middle of the day. No disguise. Just Karen in all her glory, holding a tin of what I assume were store-bought cookies, telling me with this fake concerned voice, "Hey there. I think some of my business mail might be ending up here by mistake." I smiled. Said, weird. Haven't noticed. She offered to cover any inconvenience, which was code for bribery. Told me to just toss anything suspicious and she'd make it worth my time. I nodded, took the cookies, and closed the door. Cookies went in the trash. Her note with her number? Straight into the evidence pile. At that point, I had so much dirt, it was practically a landslide. I compiled the file, video footage, digital timestamps, GPS logs, screenshots of her website. Her IRS-verified claim, her forged lease, the flyer with my house listed, her voice on camera offering a bribe. All of it. I brought it to my supervisor and handed it over. He flipped through the file, shook his head, chuckled once, and said, "Approved." That's the IRS version of "let's burn it down." We sent her a formal audit notice. But not just that. We scheduled a surprise field inspection. 2 agents, plus a rep from the State Fraud Division, showed up at her house on a sunny Tuesday morning. Karen answered the door in her usual matching tracksuit, that smug HOA smile frozen on her face, until she saw the folders in their hands. She tried to talk her way out of it. Blamed a clerical error, said a virtual assistant filled out the forms, claimed the post office must have confused addresses. One of the agents pulled out the copy of the fake lease, with her forged signature next to mine. Then another printed screenshot, her website with my address. And her bragging about being federally recognized. And then, because poetic justice loves good timing, the HOA president showed up. Turned out she'd also listed my address as the official sponsor location for an HOA wellness partnership that never existed. The board had no clue. The president had been looped in by the agents. That's when the mask came off. Her confident posture collapsed. She wasn't talking anymore, just nodding and blinking a lot, trying to hold it together as the walls closed in. Later that afternoon, the HOA called an emergency meeting. Karen tried to act like nothing was wrong. Wore a blazer over her yoga pants, carried a tote bag that read, "Wellness is wealth." The board wasn't having it. They read off the IRS report, the forged address filings, and cited a whole list of community code violations. They revoked her HOA privileges, banned her from all committees, and removed her gate access. The final vote was unanimous. She walked out of that meeting with her eyes wide and jaw clenched. Her empire, built on lavender-scented lies and photocopied forms, had crumbled. But the cherry on top? The next morning, a cease and desist notice was slapped on her door from the state. Her website was taken down. Her phone numbers deactivated. Social media flooded with comments calling her a fraud. Someone even made a meme of her logo over a dumpster fire and sent it around the neighborhood group chat, title, "Lavender Lies." And me? I finally checked my mailbox without flinching. It was quiet again. Peaceful. No more weird packages. No more porch prowlers. Just the way it should be. But what about Karen? Well, last I heard, she's under official investigation for mail fraud, tax fraud, misuse of federal relief funds, and forging a government document. She might dodge prison with a good lawyer. But one thing's for sure, she's never running a fake business again. Not on my watch. Not at my address. So tell me, do you think I went too far? Or was it exactly what she deserved? Drop your thoughts in the comments. What would you have done if someone used your address for a scam? Ever had a run-in with a fake business or an entitled neighbor? Let's talk about it. And if you like this story, hit like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one, hopefully with less fraud and more justice.